So today we are going to continue with our topic on about democracy, and now we're going to be dealing with the solutions to the political problem, to the leadership problem. So our subtopic today is the faithful and true. Are we faithfulness and fruit? Faithfulness and fruit. So let's see now. To lead, to be able to guide people, to lead people, you need to be. To lead basically means you are guiding them, and to guide means you have to be a light. It's light that guides. Light helps you know what you are doing, helps you see what you cannot see. So to lead, you have to be wiser. You have to be brighter. Yes, to lead me, it means you have to be wiser than me. So it brings us back to what I was discussing about. I'll state it here more clearly. About a leader needs to have better plans for you than you have for yourself. That is why you forfeit your own plans and begin to work on his plan. That's what justifies that difference, that difference, or the difference, the submission. That what justifies it, and that what makes it to be peaceful, be peaceable, for there to be no conflict in your heart when you are doing it. So your plans for me are better than my plans for myself to lead me, and then your ability to achieve those better plans are greater than my ability to achieve my lesser plans. If you have this, there's nothing that can ever make the leader to shake or make people to waver in their following him. You won't have to beg anybody to follow him. Following him is the best thing that could possibly happen to you. That's one. So he has to be the light. So it means he has to be wiser. Yeah. So if we look at it in this way, it means the leader has to be more discerning. In fact, the leader has to be the most discerning. People are supposed to be ranked according to their degree of discernment. That's how you rank people in society for you to have an effective society, not about the amount of money they inherited or able to siphon or able to get through some lucky. Usually it's actually stealing or luck. That does not really show a person's ability. A person's ability to make money does not show his real ability. His real ability is revealed in his morality. Because it is that morality that determines everything. I've discussed that before. I think in the video why, where I explain why morality is so important. I cannot go into it now. I will not go into it now. If you want to learn more about that, you can go and check out the video. The video's title is just why. Why with a question mark. Just why. I will link it in the description. So now, in light of the need for this discernment, we have to understand how to create true discernment. Funny thing is that God has already set all these things in place a long time ago. It's not like it's something that is coming now. It's man that could not access it because man was always feeling that he's smart. It has always been dubious. So like I've discussed before, why faithfulness and truth. That's also a video under there was a series why. I'll link it in the description too. And so faithfulness and truth is so important. It's so important because it is the guarantee of this discernment, and to be faithful and true. Like I was saying, if the leader is supposed to be to know better, so that's why the leaders are called visionaries. But it's not just about having a vision. By God's side, it's not about having a vision that I want us to do this. Your vision, you might have a vision. Not having a vision is not really. It's not about having a plan. It's subjective to a large extent. Hitler had a vision. There are many evil people that have a vision. I don't want to call recent names, but many evil people have visions. They have a direction. They are clear on it. They have what they want to do, what they are determined to do. They have passion. They can lead. So it's not just about having a vision. It's about having vision. That is being able to see. And it sounds simple, but this is something that human beings find very, very difficult to do. This is what they're not able to achieve because things are really, really tricky. The ability to see is not easy, is not common. What human beings see is what things look like. That is what human beings typically see. What things look like. What God needs you to see, what you need to be able to see to lead, is what things really are. And that is a very, very tricky thing, because most of the time, the truth is counterintuitive, the truth is contradictory to the norm, to the status quo. So, you actually need to have vision. So, the person that has the clearest vision, that knows what things are, is the one that can lead, is the one that should lead, is the one that people had better follow. Doesn't even need to lead you. If you know what's good for you, you can follow him, because you are seeing what things look like, he is seeing what things are. And the only way to really get to what things really are is through faithfulness and truth. Faithfulness and truth. That is why in the book of Revelation they said when the king comes, the person I say he saw on a horse with a king with a crown, many crowns on his head, was describing God and the godlike people. All of God's children, they have to have this nature, they have to be faithful and true. That faithful and true is the seal of kings. That's why it was written on his thigh. The thigh has the biggest bone. It's the biggest piece of the human body. That's the biggest bone. So that is in a manner of speaking, since it's the biggest bone, with God's way of thinking, is like it's the first bone because the superior bone is the biggest. So when it's many things about it, but basically when that biggest tie, that tie, when something is written on the tie, well, that's why that in the Bible when they get to swear, Abraham will tell his son Isaac to put his hand under his tie. I think Isaac will tell Jacob, all those things. They used to talk about that tie. It means that it is rooted, it is fundamental. It is the essence of the thing, it is double. I've told you about half, one, and two. Half is like insufficient, one is sufficient, full, complete, and two is double, is the essence of the thing. So on a fundamental level, you have to be fundamentally faithful and true. So back to the faithfulness and truth. Why faithfulness and truth is fundamental to discernment. If you are faithful to something, you will know what it is. I've described it several times. You'll see it in the video, why faithfulness and truth. If you are faithful to a master or even to a philosophy, if you go to the lab, if you go to a science lab and you have two compounds, you're trying to see which one what would work best for maybe the disease you're trying to cure. If you are faithful, you're not dubious. Maybe one compound you discovered, the other compound a colleague discovered. If you are faithful and you are testing both compounds and you are faithful, you test them faithfully, you will know which one is which. But if you put in bias and your ego, because you are determined for your own to be the right one so that you can be the one that will get the money and the recognition and get the grants and all those other things, that is when you begin to dabble. That's when you begin to overlook the flaws of your own and you begin to overlook the benefits of the other person's own. But if you are completely faithful and true, no ego, then that's when you really become a scientist. I keep on trying to say science. The problem with science, let me just say it here. Actually, the truth of the matter is that the religion that actually comes closest to looking like God is actually science, not religion itself. Because religion, God allowed it to be weak. Then if you are faithful to it, you will give it the right path. Science is one that comes up from the scratch with the right aspects because of that non-bias, no respect of persons. God is not a respecter of persons. The truth is the truth. But scientists themselves are not true. If they were true, they would have discovered that God is real. But because they keep on looking for evidence that only supports that God is not, then they themselves go into this, their bias. So they are just as biased as the religious people that they are practicing blind faith in science and determining that it is only science, determining that there is no God. Even there is many evidence to, at the very least, question the idea that there is no God absolutely. They really are miracles even today, in little ways. But anytime people that actually have experiences with God, they dismiss all such accounts. They completely dismiss it. Nobody is begging them. Nobody cares. They think God is not determined to save anybody. God is just giving you the opportunity to be saved because it's you that will suffer. Because if you know what He plans to do with the wicked, God is not as nice as they are portrayed him to be. God is not as nice as Jesus has told you He is. God is not. He's not determined to save anybody. He's going to give you opportunity to be saved, everything you need. And then if you determine and you make up your mind and you insist that you must do evil, then you will see, then you will face the punishment, and God's hand is severe. It's no problem, please. I'm not begging anybody, so don't. This is not a call to any. This is not trying to persuade you that there is God. There is no God, no problem. There's only homosexuality and eating shit and other things and doing whatever you want to do. There's only imagination, no problem. So, but so now this faithfulness and truth. I keep on supposed to describe it, but I keep on going up and down. Sorry about that. Maybe I should just leave it alone. But okay, so faithfulness and truth. Yes. If I need to explain why it is so important. If you are faithful, like I explained, if you are faithful, you will be able to know what is what. And that is what brings the vision. So if you are faithful on a fundamental level, not just in the lab, if you are faithful on a fundamental level, you will always know what is what. When you go home to your wife, if you have a wife, if you are faithful, you do everything that a husband is supposed to do. You are protective, you provide to the best of your ability within the realities of the economy. You provide, you protect, you are gentle, you nurture, and the wife misbehaves, you know if it's for you or if it's not. If you are faithful and you do everything you're supposed to do and she does what she is supposed to do, then you know, okay, this woman is one that can receive input and produce the right output. If you do everything right and she still doesn't do her own part of what is right, then you know it is definitely not from you. So faithfulness produces truth, but even more importantly, it produces certainty. Because you have already done everything that's supposed to be done, there's nothing more you can do. You cannot improve it, you cannot fix it anymore. So if it doesn't work, you are sure it's not from you, you are sure that thing is the problem, you are sure that formula is the problem, you are sure that principle that you applied, that you practiced, that you obeyed is the problem. Because you did it faithfully, so it is not from your end. You did everything the way it was supposed to be done. It is definitely not you. It is the thing itself. So if you are faithful and you do it the way they said it should be done, and it works, then you say, okay, this thing works. If you are faithful and it doesn't work, then you know, okay, this thing doesn't work. You have left that matter behind, you are going forward. The main cause of delay and problems is uncertainty. So faithfulness gives you certainty. That is where the confidence that women are looking for in men actually comes from. So when a man is actually confident in his youth, he's actually a very, very bad sign. What the fuck are you confident in? What have you tested? What the hell do you know? Where is your confidence coming from? Your confidence is baseless. So it's actually just, in a way, it's actually just stupidity, because you're not supposed to be sure until you are certain. How come you are so sure? Because confidence comes from certainty. Comes from that you're being sure. It's supposed to be a product of certainty. How can you be certain when you haven't tested? What have you tested? What have you experienced? What the hell do you know? You're in secondary school, you're in high school, and you're already so confident. Confident from where? What the hell do you know? People that even know better than you are refusing to submit to them. You're just being rebellious, even though they are wiser than you. That is a very, very stupid type of confidence. It's not that it's not confidence, but it is stupid. True confidence has to come after testing. So the true man is not the rebellious man that women are looking for, all those kind of bad boy. The true man is actually the good boy, because he is faithful to what his parents told him, he's faithful to what his teachers tell him. If he is faithful and he practices it perfectly, whether from parents to school to church or to mosque or to wherever he was faithful, he was obedient. When it doesn't work out, he is now sure that this thing doesn't work. When he comes out, it will be mild and gentle, but he will be certain he will not go back. That is the real confidence that the man is supposed to have. That is where the confidence is supposed to come from. It's supposed to be based on certainty. That's why God says that they will be slaves. That's when you are submitting to the master, to the principle, to the authority. When you submit to it, then you'll be sure of it. You'll be sure of what it is. Then when you move out or you stay in, then you know exactly what you're doing. That's where the confidence, that unwaveringness, that unwavering ability of a man, that's where it's supposed to come from. So there's so many illusions. So that is, people are just deluding themselves. So when a man too goes and starts learning how to fake confidence, because that confidence is basically faking it. Yeah, you're hiding your insecurities, or you are unaware of your inabilities, because you see things so superficially. then when you two try to become confident like that, or are confident like that, and you're impressing women, you're actually destroying yourself to impress them, and they're helping you do it. So they are congratulating you for having no foundation. So you are supposed to, at that time, disappoint them to look like a baby's boy. Do you always do what your daddy tells you? Tell them, yes, I always do what my daddy tells me. Do you always do what you are told? Yes, I always do what I am told. If I do exactly what I am told, when it doesn't work, I am sure, then I am free. That's where the true independence comes from. But the one that never obeyed, kept on rebelling when he had no justification to rebel, will always be a slave. No matter how he looks like a king, he will always be a slave because he can never be sure. You have to go back there. So that's what I decide. So I don't want video to be too long. But so faithfulness and then truth. So when you are faithful and you are true, then you have the vision, you have the certainty, then you can lead people because you know exactly what things are now. And wherever you go, you always know what things are. When you deal with a person, you deal with him faithfully and he's still dubious or he still does not produce. When you are a leader and you are faithful, you do what a leader is supposed to do. You obey the principles of leadership, you are gentle, you are patient with your followers, you give them the tools they need, and that follower still does not produce what he's supposed to produce. And you sack him, you are sure you're not going to go back because you have already done everything that is supposed to be done. So a faithful person keeps on moving, he's ever advancing, he doesn't go around in circles. And that's what the hinderer does. People think hindrance is to keep you stationary, to just keep you put. No, the hinderer just keeps you going in circles. So it looks like you're progressing, then you make a mistake. Oh, okay, we have to go back. Then you start to do it again. So, like for religious side, that is like, okay, you're having to obey God, you're obeying God, and that thing used to disobey God, disobey again, then you start over again. But if you are faithful, obey. Even if you disobey, you will not obey that particular thing that you disobeyed. So if you have maybe anger issues, you will fix it. If you have lust issues, you will fix it. When you fix, then you have advanced. When you keep on going around and you're saying, this is my nature, accept me the way I am, that's when you keep on going around. You keep on living on that level. Never grow out of that level. God needs you to grow. God doesn't have a problem with you having weaknesses, doesn't have a problem with you having flaws, doesn't have a problem with you having sin. Doesn't have a problem with sin. He has a problem with you not correcting the sin, not correcting the weakness, not correcting the flaw. Trying to justify it, trying to make it acceptable. It will never be acceptable. It should not be accepted. So that's how you grow. So I've said many things, even though it's not quite what I would like to be as linear as possible. I think it's very useful information. So we'll stop there for today. So faithfulness and truth is the actual certificate. It's actual CV of leaders. To be a leader, you have to be faithful and true because that is the only way you can know what things are. And when you know what things are, then people can follow you because you know what you're doing. Any other thing, you're just following a fool. It's the blind leading the blind. So faithful and true. I think tomorrow's topic, tomorrow we'll discuss something very quite interesting, the Sherlock Holmes policy. I'll see you then.